Ah, you must be the, Earth Directorate agent I was told to expect. Your punctuality is commendable. I was not informed you'd be arriving with a, scholar of alternative belief.
You are just dying to call me a cultist, aren't you? Me? Harmless? How dare you? Call me that again and I may feel the need to show you just how harmless I am.
I suspect I'm lacking the appropriate context to understand this, no doubt, humorous exchange. Shall we just move on, then? Allow me to welcome you to Golden Ridge. I'm afraid I've no refreshments available, but can I interest you in a customary debate over decidability? Sensible. Straight to business, then. The presiding bishop sent word of your imminent arrival. However, pursuant to our normal standards of compartmentalization, she was scant on the details of your mission. That said, I've been instructed to assist you however I can. So, tell me, what brings you to Golden Ridge?
Victor Clemens, some kind of radical. What an absurd notion.
I must agree with my seer. I once watched Victor shed copious tears over a damaged data pack.
He... What?
I'm grieved to hear this news. Like many of our most brilliant minds, Victor was also troubled. I only wish I'd realized sooner the extent. A sad truth worthy of much reflection. Now then, by exposing Victor's machinations, you've done the Order a good turn. Perhaps you would be interested in doing another? No doubt you heard of the recent attack launched on that Anti's Choice base, Outpost Opportunity. It came from one of our facilities, the Zeranium Manufactory. But that facility is intended for research, not military action. I hate thinking an Order member responsible, but given the precision of the attack, it does suggest traitors in our midst. It would undoubtedly benefit both of us to root them out.
Respectfully, Scholar, given current tensions, should we really be trusting such a delicate task to this stranger? Would an internal review of our ranks not be more appropriate? Thank you for proving my thesis statement.
I don't dispute the need for discretion, my friend. but the presiding bishop made the determination to send the agent to us. It's best we trust her calculations. Moreover, our situation is growing increasingly dire. I can't overstate my fears concerning this most recent attack ending the ceasefire and reigniting the war in Golden Ridge. One more thing. Your investigation into the traitors takes precedence, but if you could also render aid at Outpost Opportunity on our behalf, such a gesture might preserve the peace. Most assuredly not. It would eliminate the entire point of the ceasefire. Please convey that fact to whomever you speak with.
And here I was under the impression that investigating crime and injustice was primarily what Earth Directorate agents do.
At any rate, I trust whatever's uncovered over the course of this investigation will serve as compensation enough. Before you dash off, here, take this writ of investigative inquiry. It'll grant you access to the manufactory should you decide to look into matters there. Seer Wiley and I will conduct our own inquest into these traitors you've mentioned erstwhile. We can compare notes if you return with any new findings.
1,068.5 pardons. But my attention, I haven't any time for idle chatter.
What is it? I have... Oh, new arrivals. Of an independent operative nature, one presumes. Did the abbot assign you to help? Yes. Infrastructure requests from... Or beyond me, why, yes. And here I assumed I was speaking to a... No offense. Tell me, what do you know of the exclusion zone? Excuse me, but the intricate dance of the cosmos... You see, the seer predicted that a calamity would befall the exclusion zone, warning that the barrier must not be crossed. But the ever-disruptive voice of the displaced is dead set on occupying the exclusion zone anyway, laughing in the face of certain peril. We don't know, and the seer has augured death for anyone who enters the exclusion zone. Yes, furthermore, and I quote, "An outside mediator, having earned the confidence of both sides, has a high likelihood of clearing up an ongoing dispute. We can't have the voice of the displaced sowing disorder. Will you help us? Will you?" The first step is to familiarize yourself with every angle of the dispute. The displaced want the exclusion zone. We want it kept off limits. We can't both be right. Feel free to speak with the voice of the displaced herself if you aren't already. Any questions before you get started? Novice Seer Vicarage should have ample time to illuminate you on the Order's forecast modeling methods. He's just down the room from here. Many people...
The meaning of life is numeric, and we are the keepers of the equation.
What happened to this place? Law. Matriarch's mercy is no safer than the trenches.
Look on the bright side.
Except for the fact that you ain't yelling and trying to eat me. I'd have pegged you as some sort of prosperous scrapper by the rough look you got about you. You do got a certain feral look in your eye, though. Okay. I give up. May Huffstutler. Formerly Auntie's Choice, Department of Invasive Marketing. Now, that's what those in the Order call me, leastways. An unofficial sobriquet, likely meant as a pet. On account I object. Louder. More often than the rest. Those of us ended up here have very little except needs. I turned those into demands for reasons of clarity and import. What little I understand, I actually sort of admire. I mean, from where I'm sitting, they hold the most potential. If only they worked harder to realize it. Because really, at the end of the day, ill intent and neglect feel pretty much the same. Happy as I am to make your acquaintance, I'm busy staking our claim over the exclusion zone, so if you'll excuse me. Oh, so that's how it is. You're the mediator that was foretold. Am I right? The Order wants us to believe that a catastrophe is coming to the exclusion zone at any second. Why? Because math told them so. Screw their predictions. We have people, displaced by war and disaster, in sore need of space. There's plenty of room to house them. People are cramped, injured, sick. The Order needs to do more than command. They need to listen. I honestly don't give the slightest whit about the Order's idea of math or whatever calculation tells them that a catastrophe may or may not occur. What does the administrant want? To shut me up? To discredit me? Right. I can see you take this prediction business seriously. Just don't let it get to your head. Best thing you can do is introduce yourself around camp. See why we need the exclusion zones open.
What happened to this place? Law. Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict, with an 8.23 margin of error, that our situation will improve in time.
Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict, with an 8.23 margin of error, that our situation...
Broke my nose last scrap. Or, I guess Wally Dortmunder. Ow!
Word to wise, don't accept anything here that's given for free. You'll pay, one way or another.
Keep your nose clean and your deals dirty.
You got business? No? Move on. You the fixer-lyncher aide to Agent Galloway? Don't suppose you got that crawling hibiscus she promised to sneak me, huh? Forget it. You can come in. Hello, hello. You're the one that aided us in availing Sub Rosa of a rather large shipment of Spectrum vodka, yes? Agent Galloway is slightly less trustful than most feral canids, so winning her over speaks volumes of your character. Consequently, I'm pleased to present you purchase access to my fine wares. Feast thine eye!
Greetings. What can I help you with? Let me guess. One of your co-occupants is always hanging up, or you're dealing with more of a stay off my palate, or that's my air you're breathing sort of thing. Hmm? Pray elucidate the exact nature of your tiff of contention.
You spill blood everywhere one time and you never hear the end of it.
Oh, I get it. Right. Well, I can generalize in a way where they likely won't follow. Here in Matriarch's Mercy, if you're not a member of the Order, you're probably living close to somebody else. In some cases, sleeping on top of them. Sort of thing tends to cause friction between neighbors. Would lead to fights, but nobody here wants trouble with the Order. So they hire our hooligans to battle by proxy. It's the Order, so they don't kick you out or nothing. It's all community betterment volunteering. If you're former Auntie's Choice, it smacks kind of like work for free. If you're former Protectorate and it don't involve automechs, it's all terrifyingly mystifying somehow. We say whoever wins the fight wins the argument. But frankly, it's never anything of consequence, like, okay, hurrah! This guy gets back his mangy button. Now, how can I help you exactly? Ugh, a tourist. Well, clear out then, huh? Can't have you scaring off real customers. I got a bunch of yeggs, 2 pugilized pugilists, and a cicada to feed.
Look, your nose was just a stand-in for Duarte's nose.
Look, I'm not with Auntie anymore. Can't say I'm fond of these lodgings. Talk about close quarters.
Just be grateful for what you have. Wait, don't tell me you're one of those drones from Auntie's Choice.
Easy, friend. We're all in this together.
You just keep your distance.
Algorithmic. And then we solve for the... apology. Oh, doesn't everyone have that memorized? It's 1.77245385. I see you were making a jest and/or attempt at conversation. Anything else? They must be exceptionally pleased with the statistical jump correlated to residents within Matriarch's Mercy. Numbers here are pretty compelling. According to data, life inside shows a notable uptick in key relevant quality of life factors: longevity, access to medicine, potable water. Life outside sees increased risk of starvation, inclement weather, and hostile xenofauna. Yes, indeed. We have diverted internal resources to better meet demand in key areas. And I'm pleased to say that's led to a statistically significant 2.7% increase in refugee satisfaction. But if my data remains unconvincing, I suggest you inquire with Provisioner Plotnik inside the lift building. Simply tell her Archivist Widmark approves brief use of her time. Then back to it I shall get. If we factor for random elements...
I remember this place before the war. Functioning tramiculars. The peaceful silence of the canyons.
I can't recall the last time this region was silent. Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
I wish. Between the invaders and the Order defecting, there's no putting this sprat back into the can.
Cloister is looking pretty good right about now.
A wasteland devoid of life? No, Arcadia is doomed.
Keep your behavior within acceptable parameters.
Ruth Bassar is the first among... Apologies, outsider. As lately, the abbot has tasked me with the education. You are, of course, free to stay to be enlightened by my lecture, but I don't... Well, if it's in the displaced's best interests, I imagine I can find a moment. Yes, I reckon I do have my ear to the grimy dirt floor of Matriarch's Mercy. I hear what common lay people are saying, and the wide array of bodily noises they make. Suppose I, more than any other member of the Order here, connect with non-scienticians. I've begun daily lectures, including practical advice on efficiently planning their days. I frequently launch into extended orations on everyone's favorite... Oh, dear, I got ahead of myself. As I'm sure you've read in recent dissertations doing the rounds, education has proven to have a 13 points... I am single-handedly making a difference here. With constructive pointers on efficient scheduling, lessons on Order history, perhaps some other time.
Stifled by unfulfilling work with no hope of advancement? Tired from fighting off your fellow workers to keep you employed?
Welcome! Have you come to bask in the Order's knowledge?
Scienticians around the settlement inform me you've made some inquiries. Have you spoken to all representatives of the... Well then, if you need me in the meantime, I'll be here, up to my ocular organs and requests. Besides, what I've... to put it gently... disorganized, which is irregular for a group that prides itself on mathematical... But with effort, patience, and collaboration, I am confident that Matriarch's Mercy will... Good. Check it. As with probability, there is an art to mediation, and it requires a well...
Thank the architect. I knew you'd be back. Well, really, it was the seer that knew, but it is always nice to... Where to begin? I am but a humble general practitioner. What I really need are specialists, and the seer predicted an outsider would find them.
Might have time to patch up 1 or 2 patients before we head out. I used to be a combat medic. A good one, too.
You also strike me as someone on the go. I need committed medical employees, not a freelancer. The seer gave me a datapad with explicit instructions that I not read it, for my intervention could only throw probability into disarray. Now, take the datapad, with my thanks. As a doctor, I'm appalled. We don't have enough beds or private quarters to separate people, so sickness is blazing an unhappy trail through the refugees. Of course, the Order keeps us well supplied with meds, but things will get worse as long as we're overcrowded. Yes, I can treat sickness as it arises. It would be leagues better to prevent it entirely. That means space to spread out. Since you asked, you can run this medicine to Horst Lambing. Just don't shake the man's hand. He has a habit of coughing into his palm when he covers it at all.
I suppose that... Well then, I read that you'd have questions about our... We utilize a mix of proprietary... None of us predict events with complete accuracy. The Department of Predictive Analysis provide weekly prognostics reports and personalized... The Department of Predictive Analysis, after years of study. Of course, predictions have grown more difficult with the loss of the archive. But I am not to... The former are generalized forecasts. Usually some are handled. Regrettably, I have built up a bit of a... Matriarch's Mercy is brimming beyond capacity with those cast out by war. But we of the Order rise to every... Why I, for instance, have availed my predictive methods to our refugee neighbors in the area. There's nothing more practical than improving lives now, is there? We've offered the displaced access to our weekly prognostics reports, and engagement is admittedly rather low, but at least one member of the camp reports he has benefited from them greatly. One of our recent guests, Rollo Nast, has received multiple personalized Order predictions. I believe he could if my own humble assertions are not enough, I trust his attestations would convince you. And perhaps other members of the displaced as well. True, my situation... Regrettably, this is Matriarch's Mercy. I foresee you have much...
Have you beheld that new rifle up at the monastery, the Oracle?
The one Wiley designed, right? Uses a tracking algorithm, never misses. Sounds ambitious, even for him.
I'd give my tenure for an hour alone with it and Mantisaur 2 clicks.